Shalom. Want to give all praise and glory unto Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors goes out to the other apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam for pushing this truth with sincerity, alright? Throughout the four corners of the earth. So the Spirit has me today in the Psalm 44, alright? It says, "We have heard with our ears, O Yahawah, our power. Our fathers have told us what work thou didst in their days, in the times of old." Alright, so let's go to another precept. To the chief musician Mashil for the sons of Korah, as the hart panteth after the water brook, so panteth my soul after thee, O Yahawah. Alright, and a hart is like a deer. I believe it's a male deer. Or a young deer maybe. But it's a deer, like a roe, R-O-E. But like a hart panteth after the water brook, so panteth my soul after thee, O Yahawah, thy power. So that's what it is. What our fathers have told us, what work thou didst in their days and in the times of old. So the works that Yahawah did in our fathers' days was he delivered us out of Egypt. We were delivered from Babylon. But, because of the curses, we're in captivity. Verse 3. For they got the land in possession by their own sword. Neither did their own arm save them, but thy right hand and thine arm, and the light of thy countenance, because thou hast a favor unto them. Alright, so the right hand was Yahushai, okay? So all of the, during the time of Exodus, with Moses, with the plagues, those were all from Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. All the plagues that were in ancient Egypt. Just like the plagues in modern Egypt, or aka Babylon, America, right? Because America is known spiritually as several different names in the Bible, alright? So the same type of plagues are going to hit Babylon, America, spiritual Egypt. And we're going to be delivered by the right hand. Back then, in the ancient times, our people were delivered by, because the plagues, and the final plague was the death of all of the firstborn of the cattle and the children of Egypt. So a lot of people died in that. And remember, a lot of people that died, not all Israel left with Egypt. There were Egyptians who didn't leave. There were Israelites that didn't leave, okay? Because even their sons were, killed. The ones who didn't, fulfill the commandment of the Passover, putting the blood on the doorposts. See? So anyway, let's get back to Psalms 44. Verse 4. Thou art my king, O Yahawah, command deliverances for Jacob. Through thee will we push down our enemies. Through thy name will we tread them under that rise up against us. See, so verse 4 says the command deliverances for Jacob, not for the whole world, but Jacob, alright? Who is the father of the 12 tribes of Israel, alright? Verse 5. Through thee will we push down our enemies, through thy name will we tread them under that rise up against us, alright? So there has to be an enemy, alright? There has to be a specific people who are the Israelites, and that's you so-called Latino, Native Americans, and Hispanics, alright? You are the Israelites of the Bible. Let's read Deuteronomy 33:17. His glory is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns, and with them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth. And they are the 10 of thousands of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. All right, so that's going into, the name is coming through the unicorn, which is the unicorn is symbolic unto the internet, the horns of the unicorns. With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth. See? That unicorn goes into horn. So the horn, what is the horn? When you blow in a horn, we're blowing the horn on the internet. Let's read it again. His glory is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns, which with them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth. And they are the 10 thousands of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. Okay? So there you go. And you will keep reading. And of Zebulun he said, Rejoice, Zebulun, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents. They shall call the people unto the mountain. There they shall offer sacrifices, for they shall suck of the abundance of the seas and the treasures hid in the sand. And of Gad he said, Blessed be that he that enlargeth Gad, he dwelleth as a lion. There you go. See? And teareth the arm with the crown of the head. See? So it shows you, you keep going, it goes into all the tribes. Alright? So, let's go back to Psalm 44. But we're coming up, rising the tents of each tribe through the unicorn, man, which is the internet, all right, through the ends of the earth, pushing the people together to the ends of the earth, like it read in that verse. Let's see, chapter 44, verse 6. For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. All right, this is not carnal, this is spiritual. We're not trying to save ourselves by our own power. No, it's through the scriptures, by the spirit and power of Yahawah B'Shem Yahushai, we're going to be saved and delivered by the power the right hand, Yahawah Shai, the chariots, the so-called UFOs. Verse 7. But thou hast saved us from our enemies, and hast put them to shame that hated us. Esau and all the other heathen nations are going to be put to shame when Yahawah Shai comes with those angels and delivers us from our enemies. All right. They're already patrolling the Navy warships of the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. You got the chariots. Look it up. I'm sure a lot of the brothers have seen them, but you got the pyramid-shaped chariots, just hovering in swarms over the naval ship, military ship. So it's going to be on, man. And one of the interviews I saw with the Tucker Carlson, he was talking about, those UFOs must have scared the crap out of the U.S. military. That's what he said. That was his quote. All right. Verse 8. In Yahawah we boast all the day long and praise thy name forever. Selah. Yeah, we boast about Yahawah, man. We praise him by doing his videos, studying, reading, going to camp, And then, even among these 2/3, you're constantly using your wisdom and using your, meditating on the scriptures and the precepts, and conducting yourself to the best of your ability, and you separate yourself from these heathen. Verse 9, but thou hast cast off and put us to shame, and goest not forth with our armies. See, and those armies eventually will go forth, but they haven't yet. Because you haven't seen the chariots deliver us from the so-called white man. You haven't seen the war in heaven yet, you know. But that's what the prophecy says, hey, that there's going to be war in heaven, all right? Let's go to that real quick. Revelation 12, okay, I should have known. Revelation 12 and 7. This is those armies that haven't went forth yet. Revelation 12 and 7. There was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, which that old serpent goes back to the Garden of Eden in Genesis, which was that wicked spirit, wicked serpent, which today is the so-called white man, all right? Which deceiveth the whole world. How does he deceive the whole world? With all of his wonders, lying wonders, and his technology, all the things he does, man. He has the ability to, you know, there are all kind of lying wonders that the so-called white man has given the people of the planet Earth. And that's how he deceives the world, and also including his image of his fake Jesus Christ, okay? Which is not biblical. Jesus Christ is not biblical, okay? So we go back to Psalm 44, but that was those armies that we're reading about in verse 9, all right? Let's read it again. Thou hast cast off and put us to shame, and goest not forth with our armies, all right? Thou makest us turn back from the enemy, and they which hate us spoil for themselves. Thou hast given us like sheep appointed for meat, and hast scattered us among the heathen. All right, so the Israelites, we are scattered among all the nations. And that's a curse. Because now our people don't know who they are. They don't know that they don't even know their brothers, you know. The Puerto Ricans, a lot of these Puerto Ricans don't realize that the so-called Mexican is their brother. The Mexicans don't realize that the so-called black man is their brother. See? The Native American doesn't realize that the Cuban is his brother, you know? The so-called Cuban. Verse 12, thou sellest thy people for naught, and dost not increase thy wealth by their price. Thou makest a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are round about us. And back in the ancient world, all of the nations were our neighbors. All right, if you look at an ancient map, all the nations were round about Israel. It wasn't the other way around. All the nations weren't round about Edom. No, they were round about Israel. All right. Go look at the map. You'll see that all the nations were around us. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. All right, and they shake their heads when they walk past us at the camps, you know? They shake their heads like in disbelief or in disgust. You know, the waving of the head, they call it, or wagging of the head. There's a scripture. Let's get that real quick. Because that's what they do. They see us out there with, you know, bringing this truth out. Yeah, Matthew 27 and 39. So that's what these heathen do, you know. Matthew 27, 39. And they that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads. All right, and they were talking about Yahawah, see? Verse 37. And set up over his head the accusation written, this is Yahawah, the King of the Jews. See, and verse 39, they that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads. Let's go look up reviled. I've looked it up in the past. Criticize. See, look at this. This is what they do to us. Criticize in an abusive or angrily insulting manner. This is what the people do to revile. They revile even our own people. Revile. You saw it happen with the elders camp last week. With the angry so-called black woman. We've had all kind of demons come to our camp revile us. See? Same thing they did to Yahawah, man. Wagging their heads, okay? So let's go back to Psalm 44 and 14. Thou makest a byword among the heathen and a shaking of the head among the people. My confusion is continually before me, and the shame of my face hath covered me. See? For the voice of him that reproacheth and blasphemeth by reason of the enemy and avenger. All this is come upon us, yet have we not forgotten thee, neither have we dealt falsely in thy covenant. Our heart is not turned back, neither have our steps declined from thy way. Though thou hast sore broken us in the place of dragons and covered us in the shadow of death. That's because Esau Edom is ruling over us. See? If we have forgotten the name of our power, Yahawah, or stretched out our hands to a strange power. Alright? And that's what these other people are doing. We're coming out of it. We came out of it. Right? We know who the true Messiah and we know who Yahawah is. We got the names. Yahawah B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Alright? Let's get that. See, John 17:6. John 17:6. I have manifested thy name unto the men which thou gavest me out of the world. Thine they were, and thou gavest them me, and they have kept thy word. See? So we've kept the word. There's a group of men who have kept the word and repented, and Yahawah Shai has given Yahawah's name and his name to us. Alright? We've manifested thy name unto the men which thou gavest me out of the world. Talking about the prophets, alright? The men of Israel. Let's go back to Psalm 44, and I gotta close this one down. Let's see. 21. Shall not Yahawah search this out? For he knoweth the secrets of the heart. Yeah, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for the slaughter. That's why you see the Israelites getting shot down in the street. Awake, why sleepest thou, O Yahawah? Arise, cast us not off forever. Alright? So when we're talking about awake, praying for the awakening, we're praying for that army to be brought forth that we read about in verse 9. Those angels. We want to be delivered from this place. See? Verse 24. Wherefore hidest thou thy face, and forgettest our affliction and our oppression? For our soul is bowed down to the dust, our belly cleaveth unto the earth. Okay, and the dust deals with confusion. Alright? So the ones who are the most confused are the 2/3, because they have no idea what's happening. They don't know why the plagues are coming to Babylon, America. They don't know why. They don't know shit. Alright, but the watchmen, we're watching. We can see the prophecies being fulfilled and unfolding right before our eyes. So, let's read this last verse. Arise for our help and redeem us for thy mercy's sake. Alright? And the redemption is going to come by way of those chariots, man. Let's get it. 24 and 31, Matthew. And he shall send his angels, those same ones that are going to war with Esau, with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds and from the end of heaven to the other. Alright? So the angels are going to gather us, the chariots. That's going to be our salvation. That's going to be our refuge. That's going to be our deliverance. Alright? So with that, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahawah, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, or Kakwadash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. I also want to acknowledge all the Akyam for pushing this truth with sincerity. Alright, Shalom to the elect. May you endure to the end. Shalom.